In a world where people lose their minds over slow Wi-Fi, where coffee spills ruin entire mornings, where someone eating loudly next to you can trigger an existential crisis, one philosophy stands strong against the madness. That philosophy is Stoicism. And today we're bringing you 100 powerful quotes to help you stay calm when your boss emails you at 4:59 p.m. on a Friday. Welcome to Stoic Path, where we embrace wisdom and occasionally laugh at life's absurdity. Let's dive into 100 Stoic quotes that will make you wiser, calmer, and 10% less likely to rage at your neighbor's barking dog. We'll kick things off with quotes from a guy who managed to be a philosopher and an emperor at the same time. That's like being a CEO who also moonlights as a self-help guru. His name? Marcus Aurelius. His game? Ruling Rome while dropping wisdom bombs that are still relevant 2,000 years later. 1. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Translation: life is basically a chaotic sitcom where you don't get to write the script, but you do get to decide how you react. Imagine this. You wake up, stretch, and think, today's gonna be a good day. Then boom, your phone dies, you spill coffee on your white shirt, and somehow traffic decides to move slower than a turtle on vacation. Old you, screaming internally, considering whether moving to the mountains and raising goats is a viable option. New Stoic you, shrugging it off because, hey, what's a little coffee stain but an accidental fashion statement? Moral of the story: you don't control the universe, but you do control whether you let minor inconveniences turn you into the Joker. 2. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Okay, so let's talk about mental programming. If your brain were a TV channel, what are you watching? The Everything Sucks channel? Constant reruns of past mistakes and worst-case scenarios. The Delusional Optimist Network, where you convince yourself that eating pizza daily is part of a healthy diet. Or the Stoic Mastermind channel, where you accept reality but focus on what you can control. Marcus is basically saying, your mind is like a Spotify playlist. If you're stuck on My Life is a Disaster vibes, it's time to hit shuffle. Choose better thoughts, and suddenly, life doesn't seem so bad. 3. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Oh, you know this quote is calling out that guy who posts daily motivational quotes but doesn't actually follow them. Picture this. Someone tweets, "Real men respect women. Integrity is key. Honesty matters." But in real life, he ghosts people, never tips his server, and takes 2 parking spots at the grocery store. Marcus is saying, stop talking about what it means to be a good person and just be one. Hold the door open. Be kind without making a big deal about it. And for the love of all things decent, return your shopping cart instead of leaving it in the middle of the parking lot like a savage. 4. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Boom. The shortest ethical guide ever. Scenario: you're at work and your boss asks, "Did you finish that report?" Now, technically you planned to, but then Netflix released a new show, and well, option A, lie and say, "Yeah, totally done," and then spiral into a stress-induced panic. Option B, own up, say, "Not yet, but I'll have it done soon," and not live in fear of being exposed like a fraud. Marcus is saying, integrity isn't that complicated, just do the right thing. And if you have to constantly check your story to make sure you don't get caught in a lie, maybe that's a sign to just tell the truth. 5. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Okay, deep breath. Because Marcus is coming in with the big existential wake-up call. Ever met someone who keeps saying, "One day I'll travel. One day I'll chase my dreams. One day I'll learn to play the guitar"? Spoiler alert, one day never shows up on the calendar. Imagine if you lived like you could leave life at any moment. You'd stop worrying about embarrassing yourself and finally join that salsa dance class, even if you have the rhythm of a potato. Tell your crush how you feel before they move to another country. Order dessert first, because why not? Marcus isn't saying be reckless. He's saying stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start now. 6. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Think about little kids. They get pure joy from a cardboard box. Meanwhile, adults are out here buying expensive cars just to feel something. Happiness isn't about more stuff. It's about perspective. You ever see two people stuck in an airport? One is losing their mind, cursing the airline. The other, enjoying their overpriced coffee, people watching like it's a Netflix special. Same situation, different mindset. Happiness is an inside job, folks. Marcus cracked the code before modern psychology even existed. 7. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Picture this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Option A, you tailgate them like a lunatic, wasting your energy on a rage-fueled vendetta. Option B, you laugh, shake your head, and continue vibing to your music like an enlightened monk. Marcus is saying, the ultimate flex, not letting people turn you into them. Stay unbothered. 8. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. If this was your last day, would you still be doom-scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m.? Maybe you'd. Tell your family you love them. Finally start that project you've been putting off. Forgive that one friend who still owes you money from 2017. Life isn't guaranteed. Stop sleepwalking through it. 9. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. If your biggest ambition is to finally fold your laundry after 3 days, we need to talk. Marcus is saying, dream bigger. Want more for yourself. If you don't have goals, you're just floating. And trust me, floating leads to midlife crises. 10. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny for what could more aptly fit your needs. Life throws curveballs. Some days you get a raise. Other days your Wi-Fi dies in the middle of an important Zoom call. Instead of freaking out, Marcus would say, adapt. Trust that what's happening is part of your story, even the awkward, frustrating parts. And that's a wrap on today's Stoic Wisdom session with Marcus Aurelius, your favorite ancient Roman emperor/life coach. Now, before moving on to the next quotes, let me switch back to my old voice because I'm tired talking like that voiceover guy on a movie trailer.
All right, folks. Now that I'm back to my old epic voice, let's dive into some rock-solid wisdom from Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who started as a slave, became a free man, and then a teacher of wisdom that still holds up thousands of years later. And trust me, this guy had a way of dropping truth bombs that can completely change how you see life. So let's break down his best quotes with a bit of fun, a bit of humor, and a whole lot of practical advice. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Okay, so imagine this. You're in line at your favorite coffee shop, ready to order that overpriced caramel macchiato with oat milk because you're trying to be healthy. You finally get it, take a sip, and they gave you whole milk. Tragic, right? Do you flip out? Sue the barista? Or do you just shrug, enjoy your caffeine, and move on with life? Epictetus would say the choice is yours. Life throws curveballs, spilled coffee, canceled plans, surprise bills. But the real power move is deciding how you react. Freak out, and you ruin your own day. Laugh it off, and suddenly, life's little disasters become nothing more than funny stories. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. All right, let's be real. How many of us have bought something completely unnecessary just because it was on sale? Like, did you really need that glow-in-the-dark toilet seat? Epictetus reminds us that true wealth isn't about having a massive pile of stuff. It's about not constantly craving more. If you're always thinking, I need the latest phone, the trendiest clothes, a yacht, a pet tiger, you're never going to feel satisfied. Meanwhile, the guy chilling with a good book, a comfy chair, and zero fear of missing out, he's already rich in peace of mind. No man is free who is not master of himself. Self-control, the thing we all swear we'll master every January 1st, and then forget by February. But Epictetus wasn't talking about just sticking to your diet. He meant real freedom. If you can't control your temper, your impulses, or your habits, then guess what? You're not in charge. Your emotions are. Think of it like this. If you have to check your phone every 30 seconds, that phone owns you. Master yourself, and suddenly you're not a puppet to every little craving, frustration, or notification. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Ever been stuck in traffic, losing your mind, yelling at cars like they can hear you? Yeah, Epictetus would be shaking his head right now. He's saying, why stress over what you can't change? Whether it's bad weather, other people's opinions, or the fact that your favorite show got cancelled, RIP good TV, wasting energy on things you don't control is like arguing with a brick wall. You gain real freedom when you stop letting outside forces dictate your mood. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Okay, picture this. You're at a party. You tell a joke. Half the people laugh, the other half look at you like you just confessed to eating crayons. Now, do you spend the rest of the night overthinking it? Nope. Because guess what? You can't control how other people react. Epictetus would tell you to focus on what's in your control, like telling better jokes next time, or just embracing your crayon-eating reputation. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Nothing worse than the guy who won't shut up about how disciplined he is, but then hits snooze 12 times and eats ice cream for breakfast. If you believe in something, don't just talk about it. Live it. You don't need to preach Stoicism to your friends. Just be the calm one in a crisis, the person who doesn't crumble under pressure. That's way more powerful than any lecture. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Ever say, I want to be more productive while binge-watching a whole season of something on Netflix? Yeah, we've all been there. But Epictetus is saying, decide what kind of person you want to be, then take the actions to match. Want to be more patient? Start practicing when you're stuck behind that slow walker in the grocery store. Want to be fit? Maybe put down the 4th slice of pizza. Small steps, big impact. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Translation: stop trying to be cool for other people. If something brings you genuine peace, whether that's meditation, journaling, hiking, or dancing in your living room, do it. Who cares if someone else thinks it's weird? They're probably too busy scrolling through their phones to notice anyway. He laughs at himself, never runs out of things to laugh at. Now this is some top-tier wisdom. You ever trip over nothing and then try to play it off like you meant to do that? Instead of getting embarrassed, just own it. Life is so much easier when you stop taking yourself too seriously. Laugh at your mistakes, roll with the punches, and suddenly, life feels a lot lighter. Plus, people who can laugh at themselves are way more fun to be around. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Okay, hands up if you've ever spiraled over something that didn't even happen. Like, what if I fail this test, get fired, end up living in a box, and have to train pigeons to bring me food? Our brains are experts at turning small worries into blockbuster disaster movies. But 90% of the time, reality is way less dramatic than our anxiety makes it seem. Take a breath, handle what you can, and let the rest go. And that's a wrap on Epictetus, the master of Stoic wisdom. His quotes might be ancient, but they hit just as hard today as they did back then. So next time life throws some nonsense your way, channel your inner Stoic, laugh at yourself, and keep moving forward. Next, we're hanging out with Seneca, the OG life coach from ancient Rome. This guy had a knack for dropping truth bombs, and honestly, if he had Twitter back then, he'd be dangerously viral. Let's break down some of his best quotes, with a twist. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Overthinking. If overthinking was an Olympic sport, we'd all have gold medals. You ever lie in bed, replaying that one embarrassing thing you did in 2013? Yeah, Seneca is basically saying, chill out, it wasn't that bad. Think about it. Most of the time, the things we stress about never actually happen. You're convinced your boss wants to fire you just because they sent a "Can we talk?" email. Reality, they probably just want to discuss why you keep microwaving fish in the office kitchen. Relax, Steve. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Translation. Tough times make you mentally jacked. You don't get abs by staring at gym equipment, and you don't get mentally tough by dodging every challenge. Life's struggles are like burpees. Nobody likes them, but they make you stronger. So next time life hands you a metaphorical 100-pound weight of problems, just grunt like a bodybuilder and lift it. No pain, no gain, right? It does not matter how many books you have, but how good the books are. Listen, we all know someone who hoards books but never actually reads them. They've got a shelf full of War and Peace and the Art of War, but spend their nights watching cat videos instead. Seneca is saying, quality over quantity, people. It's better to really absorb a few good books than to flex a library that collects dust. So, yes, if you only ever read Harry Potter but it taught you about courage and friendship, you're doing better than the guy who owns 100 philosophy books but still can't handle customer service calls. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. So, you want to be happy? Congratulations. You need some good old-fashioned suffering. Wait, what? Think about it. Have you ever seen someone who's never had a bad day? They're usually fragile as a wet tissue. The first sign of struggle and boom, they crumble faster than a cookie under pressure. If life were a video game, adversity is the level-up boss fight that makes you stronger. So next time life throws a challenge your way, just smirk and say, bring it on. If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Ever feel like you're just drifting through life with no direction? Like a boat without a rudder? Yeah, Seneca's saying, pick a goal, my dude. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter how hard the wind blows. You're just going in circles. You don't need a 5-year plan, but at least know if you're trying to be a lawyer or a TikTok influencer. Otherwise, you're just stuck in the great scroll of doom with no exit strategy. He who is brave is free. Fear is like that one toxic ex. It keeps calling, even when you try to move on. Seneca's point? The braver you are, the freer you become. You're scared of rejection, job interviews, asking for extra guac even though it costs extra. The more you face those fears, the less they own you. Want true freedom? Stop caring so much about looking cool and just go for it, even if that means wearing Crocs in public. Bold move. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. This is Seneca calling us out hard. We act like we have all the time in the world to chase our dreams, but panic like our life is over when we forget to send a text back. We stress over dumb stuff, but assume we have infinite time to actually do what matters. Stop doom scrolling, start doing. Maybe call your grandma back before it's too late. She's probably got cookies waiting. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Seneca would hate the phrase, "I'll do it later." The future, total mystery. The present, that's all you've got. If you're waiting for the perfect time to start a business, ask that person out or go skydiving. Newsflash, it's never coming. Just send the text, buy the ticket, take the leap. Unless the leap is off a cliff, in which case double-check your parachute first. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. You ever notice how hanging out with super-motivated people magically makes you more motivated? And chilling with couch potatoes makes you, well, a potato? Seneca is basically saying, choose your squad wisely. If your friends only encourage bad habits, maybe it's time for some friendship spring cleaning. Find people who push you to be better, not just push you to order extra fries. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. Ever feel like you're just waiting for life to start? Like, I'll be happy when I get that job, that house, that dream vacation. Spoiler alert. If you're always living for tomorrow, you'll miss today. Happiness isn't waiting on some future milestone. It's in the little things, like laughing at a dumb meme or getting the perfect cheese pull on your pizza. Seneca is basically saying, enjoy the now before you run out of nows. Boom. That's your dose of Stoic wisdom straight from Seneca, folks. Take it, use it, and don't just nod along while continuing to stress over nonsense. If Seneca had Wi-Fi, he'd be telling you to stop overthinking and start living your life. Next, we're diving into the wisdom of Zeno of Citium, founder of Stoicism, professional philosopher, and a guy who probably would have crushed it as a life coach on TikTok. Let's break down some of his best quotes and see how they apply to our modern, chaotic, coffee-fueled lives. Happiness is a good flow of life. Ah, yes, happiness. That ever-elusive thing we all chase, like a dog chasing its own tail or me trying to find my phone while I'm literally holding it. But Zeno simplifies it. Happiness isn't about fancy cars, a $1 million mansion, or finally getting Wi-Fi on a long flight. It's about a good flow of life. Picture this. You wake up on time, your coffee is the perfect temperature, traffic is smooth, and your boss doesn't send you an email labeled urgent at 4:59 p.m. That's a good flow of life. But we all know reality looks more like waking up late, spilling coffee on your shirt, getting stuck in traffic, and your boss calling you after you've logged off. Zeno's saying that happiness isn't about controlling everything, it's about riding the wave. So if life throws a bad day at you, don't fight the current. Adjust your surfboard and keep going. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. We all love the idea of conquering the world. We watch movies where the hero battles against impossible odds, takes down villains, and wins the day. But Zeno's saying, hold up, buddy, before you take on the world, have you even taken on yourself? Think about it. You want to wake up at 6 a.m. to work out, but your bed is so comfortable. You want to save money, but then you see a limited edition gadget on sale. You want to be patient, but someone just cut you off in traffic, and now your inner rage monster is awake. Zeno's point? The hardest battle isn't out there. It's in here, points to head dramatically. Self-discipline, emotional control, and resisting the urge to binge-watch an entire season of a show at 2 a.m. That's true world domination. No loss should be more regrettable to us than the loss of time, for it is irretrievable. Ever spent 3 hours scrolling social media only to realize you've accomplished nothing except learning that some guy in Idaho can stack 37 Oreos on his forehead? Yeah, Zeno would be shaking his head at us. Time is the one thing we can't refund, rewind, or exchange. You can lose money, but you can earn it back. Lose your car keys? Annoying, but solvable. Lose time? Gone. Poof. Like a Snapchat message in self-destruct mode. So next time you're about to spend an hour in a comment war with a stranger online over whether pineapple belongs on pizza, ask yourself, is this really how I want to spend my limited minutes on Earth? We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. Okay, let's be honest. Most of us are terrible at this. Someone starts talking, and instead of actually listening, we're just waiting for our turn to jump in with our story. Oh, you went to Italy last summer? That's cool, but have I told you about my trip to Spain in 2017? Zeno's advice is basically, stop, breathe, shut up, listen. We learn way more when we listen than when we talk. And let's be real, most of the trouble we get into in life isn't because we listen too much. It's because we didn't listen enough. Want to be a better friend, partner, or co-worker? Try using your ears more than your mouth. And hey, if someone's really annoying, just pretend to listen while planning your grocery list in your head. Win-win. Steel your sensibilities so that life shall hurt you as little as possible. Translation. Toughen up, Buttercup. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes it's great, like finding money in your pocket. Other times it's rough, like realizing that money was actually yours from last week and you just forgot about it. Zeno is basically telling us that the less fragile we are, the less life can mess with us. If you get upset over every little thing, like a slow Wi-Fi connection or someone liking your message instead of replying, you're giving life too much control over your emotions. So instead of freaking out when things go wrong, practice being unshakable. If someone cuts in front of you in line, just channel your inner Stoic. This is but a minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of life. Bonus points if you say it out loud in a dramatic voice and freak them out a little. And that's a wrap on some of Zeno's best advice. The man knew his stuff, and honestly, if we followed even half of it, we'd probably be way less stressed and way more stoic. So, what's your favorite Zeno quote? Drop it in the comments below. Next, we've got 2 Stoic heavyweights, Chrysippus, the master of logic, and Cleanthes, the poet-philosopher. These guys weren't just about deep thinking, they had some serious life advice that still applies today. So, refill your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into some quotes that'll make you rethink your entire life, Stoic style. Fortune bids me to follow philosophy with fewer encumbrances. All right, translation. Stuff happens, keep it simple, and just go with it. Chrysippus is basically saying, hey, life's gonna throw curveballs, so don't get too attached to things. Ever packed way too much for a trip, then realized you didn't even need half of it? Life is kind of like that. Sometimes we carry too much baggage, physical and emotional, and it just slows us down. Imagine getting fired. You could freak out, rant on social media, and buy a dozen self-help books. Or you could take a deep breath and say, Guess I was meant to follow a different path. Chrysippus would probably say, congratulations. Now you're free to do something better. So next time life pulls a fast one, don't panic. Embrace the minimalist Stoic mindset and keep moving. A person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value. Oof, this one hits hard. Basically, you are what you prioritize. If you value wisdom, integrity, and self-control, congrats. You're on the right track. But if your biggest priority is getting the perfect selfie angle or winning an argument with a stranger online, well, Chrysippus would be very disappointed. Think about it. If you spend all your time chasing money, you're measuring yourself in dollars. If you only care about popularity, your self-worth is tied to other people's opinions. But if you focus on being a good person, making smart choices, and keeping your cool when someone takes the last donut, now that's real value. So, next time you're obsessing over something, ask yourself, is this actually worth my time? If not, let it go. The universe itself is a rational being, and we are part of that order. Translation: everything happens for a reason, and you're part of the big picture. Now, this doesn't mean the universe personally cares if you miss your bus or if your Wi-Fi stops working right before an important Zoom meeting. But Chrysippus is saying there's a bigger logic to everything, like when you look back at a situation and go, oh, that actually worked out better than I expected. Ever missed an event only to realize later it was a total disaster? Or gotten rejected from something only to land an even better opportunity? That's Stoic logic in action. Instead of fighting every setback, try seeing it as a puzzle piece falling into place. Trust the process, even if it really doesn't feel like it in the moment. Lead me, Zeus, and you, O fate, wherever you have assigned me. Ah, yes, the ancient version of let go and let Zeus. Cleanthes is reminding us that we're not in control of everything. Sure, you can plan, strategize, and set goals, but at the end of the day, fate has its own GPS. You can fight it, or you can embrace the journey. Ever had travel plans get completely ruined, only to stumble upon something way cooler? That's fate in action. Maybe you didn't get your dream job, but you met someone who introduced you to a better opportunity. Life's funny like that. So instead of resisting every unexpected turn, try saying, all right, Zeus, you win this round. Let's see where this goes. If I am unwilling, I shall follow fate by force. But if I am willing, I shall follow by choice. Oh, this one is deep. Cleanthes is basically saying, you're gonna go where fate takes you, whether you like it or not, so you might as well go willingly. Imagine two people on a roller coaster. One is screaming, gripping the safety bar like their life depends on it. The other is throwing their hands up, enjoying the ride. Both are on the same track, but one is suffering and the other is having a blast. That's life. You can resist change, complain about every inconvenience, and stress over the inevitable. Or you can accept that some things are just out of your hands and roll with it. So next time life forces you into something unexpected, ask yourself, am I going to fight this every step of the way, or am I going to make the best of it? Because either way, the ride isn't stopping. Might as well enjoy it. And that's another Stoic wisdom mic drop. Chrysippus and Cleanthes might have lived thousands of years ago, but their advice still slaps. So far, what's your favorite quote? Drop it in the comments below. And if you are enjoying this, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, because as Cleanthes probably would have said, fate brought you here, so you might as well stick around. Every night before you sleep, ask yourself, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I acquire? Ah, yes, the Stoic bedtime routine. Forget counting sheep. Count your mistakes instead. Imagine lying in bed, staring at the ceiling and thinking, Well, I didn't yell at that guy who stole my parking spot. Progress. I resisted the urge to binge-watch an entire season of Breaking Bad. Kinda. I didn't impulse buy that $300 air fryer that also plays music. Self-control, baby. The idea is to reflect and improve, not beat yourself up. It's like a daily report card, except no one's grading you, unless you count your future self, who's either proud or face-palming. 2. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Translation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. You don't need a fancy gym membership to get in shape. Just do some push-ups in your living room, or at least think about doing them. Ever met someone who says, "I'll start eating healthy right after this pizza"? Yeah, no. The Stoics would tell you, start now. Got a dream? Chase it. Want to learn guitar? Pick up that dusty 6-string and butcher some chords. Life's not gonna hand you a golden ticket. Sometimes you gotta MacGyver your way to success. The wise man sees in misfortune an opportunity for virtue. Ever spilled coffee on yourself right before a big meeting? Or missed your bus in the pouring rain? Instead of throwing a tantrum like a toddler, think, what would a Stoic do? Option A. Lose your mind, rage at the universe, and declare that this is the worst day ever. Option B. Take a deep breath, laugh at your bad luck, and move on like a champ. Look, life will throw disasters at you. Flat tires, Wi-Fi outages, the last slice of pizza disappearing. But every challenge is a chance to level up your patience, resilience, and ability to laugh at yourself. The obstacle is the way. Imagine you're trying to get fit, but the gym is so far away. You could complain, or you could use that as motivation to walk there. Boom, instant workout. Or let's say your job is making you miserable. You could wallow in despair, or you could use it as a reason to finally start that side hustle you've been dreaming about. Obstacles aren't roadblocks. They're detours leading you to something better. Unless, of course, the obstacle is literally a wall, in which case find a ladder. Everything you hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything you see is a perspective, not the truth. You ever scroll through social media and see people arguing over pineapple on pizza like it's a life or death situation? Everyone thinks they're right, but really, it's just opinions flying around like seagulls at the beach. Your boss thinks you should work late. Opinion. Your friend swears by cold showers. Perspective. Your mom thinks you should get married before 30. Her truth, not yours. Stoicism reminds us that most things aren't universal truths, they're just viewpoints. So chill out, take a step back, and remember, just because someone says something with confidence doesn't mean it's gospel. Courage is knowing what not to fear. Ah yes, the fine art of not freaking out. Spiders? Okay, maybe a little fear is justified. Public speaking? Meh. That embarrassing memory from 10 years ago that still haunts you? Let it go. Half the things we worry about never even happen. So why waste energy fearing stuff that might not go wrong? Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about knowing what's actually worth losing sleep over. Spoiler alert. It's a very short list. Your days are numbered. Will you waste them on trivial matters? Be honest. How much time have you spent doom scrolling today, or rewatching the same 3 episodes of The Office? Stoicism isn't here to guilt trip you, but it is a wake-up call. Every day you spend arguing with strangers online or stressing over things you can't change is a day you don't get back. So ask yourself, is this worth it? No. Then move on and go do something epic. Learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. You know that one person who has to win every argument? Yeah, they haven't read this quote. Some things just don't matter, like whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Yes, we're back to that. Not every battle is worth fighting. Someone cuts you off in traffic? Whatever. Your coworker takes credit for your idea? Annoying, yes, but also, meh. Save your energy for the things that actually impact your life. What stands in the way becomes the way. So you failed at something. Big deal. That failure, that's your path now. Got rejected? Now you know what to work on. Messed up. Now you've learned something valuable. The best success stories start with setbacks. Thomas Edison, 1,000 failed light bulb attempts. J.K. Rowling, rejected 12 times. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. The key, don't sulk, adapt. You don't control the world, but you control how you respond to it. You can't control the weather, the economy, or whether your neighbor insists on mowing their lawn at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. But you can control your reaction. You can choose to complain, or you can grab some earplugs and go back to sleep. You can rage at the rain, or dance in it. Or, just bring an umbrella like a sane person. At the end of the day, life will throw curveballs. Your power? Choosing whether to swing at them or just let them pass. Judge yourself, not others. Ever been in traffic, yelling at the guy who cut you off, only to realize, yeah, you kinda did the same thing yesterday? Yeah. Stoicism is basically telling us, hey, maybe stop playing referee for everyone else's mistakes and focus on your own game. Instead of ranting about how Karen chews too loud or how Steve is always late to meetings, maybe reflect on your own habits. Are you always on time? Do you chew like a delicate woodland creature? Moral of the story, before you start handing out judgment like a reality TV judge, take a good hard look in the mirror and maybe check if there's spinach in your teeth while you're at it. Never be overheard complaining. We all know that one person who treats life like an endless Yelp review. Ugh, this coffee is too hot. Why is it Monday again? My Wi-Fi is so slow, I had to wait 3 seconds for my TikTok to load. Newsflash, nobody likes a complainer. Stoicism reminds us that whining doesn't fix problems, it just makes us, and everyone around us, miserable. Next time you feel the urge to grumble about life's minor inconveniences, try channeling your inner Stoic. Or at the very least, whisper it into your pillow instead of making it the soundtrack of someone else's day. Control your desires, or they will control you. Ever opened Instagram just to check one thing and suddenly found yourself 3 hours deep into a rabbit hole of cat videos and online shopping? Congratulations, you've been owned by your desires. The Stoics were onto something when they said that if we don't learn to control our impulses, they'll end up running the show. Whether it's binge watching an entire series when you should be sleeping, or impulse buying another kitchen gadget you swear you'll use, but let's be real, you won't. Discipline is key. Master your cravings or be prepared to drown in Amazon Prime deliveries and sleep deprivation. Pain is neither good nor bad. It is your judgment that makes it so. Stub your toe? Immediate reaction. Well, guess I'm dying. But pause for a second. What actually happened? You banged your foot. That's it. The real suffering comes from the dramatic monologue you're now delivering like a Shakespearean actor. Pain is inevitable, but our reaction is optional. You can either throw a tantrum like a toddler who dropped their ice cream, or you can take a deep breath, accept it, and move on. And maybe just stop walking barefoot in the dark. Remember, you're going to die. Act accordingly. Oh wow, Stoicism really knows how to lighten the mood, huh? But hear me out. This isn't meant to be depressing. It's freeing. That email you were stressed about, not gonna matter in 100 years. The embarrassing thing you said in a meeting, everyone's already forgotten it, except you replaying it at 2 a.m. If life is short, why waste it sweating the small stuff? Go do the thing. Eat the pizza. Tell people you love them. And for the love of Marcus Aurelius, stop putting off your dreams like you have infinite time. You don't. So act accordingly. Worrying never fixes the future, but it always ruins the present. Imagine you're at a party, but instead of enjoying yourself, you're thinking, what if I say something dumb? What if people think I'm awkward? Congratulations, you just turned a fun night into an anxiety marathon. Worrying about the future is like carrying an umbrella indoors because it might rain tomorrow. Pointless. The Stoics knew that most of our fears never actually happen, so why waste time stressing? Instead, focus on the now. And if it does rain tomorrow, well, now you have an excuse to stay inside and rewatch your favorite show. Win-win. To complain is to make yourself a victim. Listen, life's not fair. We all know that. Your coworker got a promotion even though they barely do anything? Annoying. The barista gave you decaf instead of regular. Tragic. But here's the thing. Constantly playing the victim doesn't change the situation. It just gives it power over you. Stoicism says, own your response. Instead of, why does this always happen to me? Try, okay, what can I do about this? Because let's be real, the only thing worse than a bad situation is whining about it until everyone avoids you at parties. Turn your wounds into wisdom. Ever look back at something embarrassing and realize, I actually learned something from that mess? That's this quote in action. Maybe you got ghosted, fired, or accidentally sent a text to the wrong person. We've all been there. Pain sucks, but it's also a free lesson. Instead of dwelling on why something happened, ask what you can take from it. Because at the end of the day, every failure, heartbreak, and awkward moment is just a future funny story waiting to happen. What you do now echoes in eternity. Okay, this one sounds dramatic, like something a gladiator would yell before battle. But it's true. Every little choice we make today shapes our future. That one workout leads to better health. That book you read expands your mind. That decision to hit snooze again. Well, you get the idea. Think of life like throwing a pebble into a pond. Every action ripples outward. So ask yourself, what am I putting out there? Because those echoes, they stick around. Master yourself, and you will master the world. Let's be real. Most of our problems start with us. We get distracted, procrastinate, overthink, or react emotionally instead of logically. But if you can master yourself, your habits, your mindset, your impulses, you basically unlock cheat codes for life. Imagine a world where you don't hit next episode when you know you should sleep, where you don't buy junk you don't need, where you actually stick to your plans. That's mastery. And once you get there, the world is yours. A Stoic stands firm in the face of chaos. Look, life's unpredictable. 1 second you're sipping coffee in peace, and the next, a seagull dive bombs your sandwich. Do you freak out? No. You take a deep breath, nod stoically, and accept that lunch just wasn't meant to be. That's the Stoic way, standing firm while the universe does its best impression of a sitcom plot twist. Adversity is the fire that tempers the soul. Ever tried cooking without heat? Yeah, exactly. No fire, no feast. Adversity is like life's seasoning. It burns, sure, but it also turns you into something way more interesting. If you never face hardship, you're basically an uncooked potato. But go through the fire, boom. You're French fries, crispy, resilient, and everybody loves you. Fear is the enemy of wisdom. Imagine you're at a karaoke bar. You want to sing, but fear is whispering, What if you sound like a dying walrus? Fear makes you overthink, hesitate, and miss out. But wisdom knows nobody actually cares. They're all just waiting for their turn to butcher a song. So, grab that mic and unleash your inner rock star. Be wise, be fearless. Probably still off key, but hey, wisdom isn't about perfect pitch. There is no easy path to greatness. Listen, if there were a shortcut to greatness, we'd all be sipping piña coladas on our private islands. But nope, even legends had to put in the work. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. Oprah got fired. Even Batman had to train before he became Gotham's favorite night owl. You want greatness? Put in the reps. No cheat codes. Tame your mind and fortune will have no hold over you. Ever seen someone lose their mind over slow Wi-Fi? 1 minute they're normal, and the next they're a caveman, waving their phone around like it's a sacrificial offering to the router gods. But if you tame your mind, you just sip your coffee, smile, and say, an opportunity to practice patience. Congratulations, you're now an enlightened being, or at least someone who won't throw their phone out the window. Shipping harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are for. Sure, staying in your comfort zone feels nice, like a warm, cozy blanket of Netflix and snacks. But guess what? That's not where the magic happens. Ships are meant to sail. You're meant to go out, take risks, and maybe, just maybe, do something legendary. So, go for it. Worst case, you get a funny story. Best case, you win at life. Either way, you're moving forward. Be tougher on yourself than the world ever could be. Life will test you, no doubt. So, beat it to the punch. Wake up early. Set goals. Do the extra push-up, even when your brain is saying, nah, let's just nap. If you're your own drill sergeant, the world's challenges will feel like a light jog instead of a marathon uphill, in the rain, while being chased by geese. Hardship is just training for the soul. Ever played a video game where your character never levels up? Boring, right? That's what avoiding hardship does. Every challenge, every struggle, it's all XP points. So next time life throws you a tough boss battle, just remember, you're leveling up. And soon, you'll be unstoppable. Don't wish for an easy life. Wish for the strength to endure a hard one. An easy life sounds great, right? But imagine watching a movie where nothing happens. No action, no plot twists, just 2 hours of someone peacefully watering plants. Snooze fest. A meaningful life has challenges, but that's what makes the victories worth it. So don't ask for a smoother road. Ask for bigger tires. Fate leads the willing and drags the reluctant. Look, fate is like that friend who insists on dragging you to a party. You can go willingly and enjoy yourself, or you can resist and get pulled along, complaining the whole way. Either way, you're going. Life is happening, so why not lean in and make the most of it? You might just have the time of your life. A wise man seeks peace within, not from without. Translation: if you're waiting for the world to be just right before you feel calm, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of stress. Imagine thinking, I'll finally be at peace once I get that perfect job, that dream house, or when Karen from accounting finally stops being passive-aggressive. Spoiler alert, Karen isn't changing. Peace isn't found in a beach vacation or the perfect cup of coffee. It's an inside job. A wise person knows that true peace comes from how you think, not what's happening around you. So yeah, meditate, take deep breaths, and maybe stop reading the comment section on the internet. Detachment is not indifference, it is wisdom. Let's get this straight. Stoics aren't emotionless robots. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging like a toddler to things you can't control. You ever see someone flip out over a slow barista? Yeah, that's attachment. A Stoic would just smile and think, "Ah, a lesson in patience." Meanwhile, the non-Stoic is out there drafting a Yelp review like it's their life's mission. Wisdom is knowing the difference between what deserves your energy and what doesn't. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. Only now matters. You know how you randomly remember that one embarrassing thing you did in middle school? Yeah, your brain is basically that one friend who loves to remind you of your worst moments at the worst times. But guess what? The past is like an expired coupon. You can't use it, so stop carrying it around. And the future? Well, worrying about it is like bringing an umbrella to a party, just in case someone starts a water fight. You're stressing over things that might never happen. The only thing that matters? Right now. So stop doom scrolling and go drink some water. True wealth is a peaceful mind. Look, money is great. But have you ever met a millionaire who's stressed out of their mind? Yeah, no thanks. What's the point of having a yacht if your brain is constantly replaying awkward conversations from 5 years ago? A peaceful mind is the ultimate luxury. No maintenance fees, no taxes, and no risk of being stolen. Unless you let TikTok steal your attention for hours. So, work on your inner peace like it's your most valuable investment. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. You ever see those people with 17 different skincare products, a smart fridge, and a car dashboard that looks like NASA's control panel? Meanwhile, a Stoic is out here with a bar of soap, a backpack, and zero stress. Complicated doesn't always mean better. Simplicity clears out the noise. And honestly, isn't it just exhausting keeping up with 18 different streaming subscriptions? Cut the clutter, simplify your life, and enjoy the things that actually matter. Every fool seeks external validation. The wise seek self-approval. Raise your hand if you've ever posted something just to see how many likes it gets. Yeah, we've all been there. But the wise don't rely on little heart emojis to feel good about themselves. They know that the only real approval that matters comes from within. So the next time you do something great, don't wait for applause. Give yourself a mental high five. And remember, just because something didn't get likes doesn't mean it wasn't legendary. Nothing can harm you unless you let it. Ever seen someone lose their mind over a bad driver? They're fuming while the other driver is already at Taco Bell, totally unbothered. The Stoic lesson. It's not what happens to you, it's how you react. You can either be a drama magnet or a serenity ninja. The choice is yours. Let's live in agreement with nature. Nature isn't out here stressing over deadlines or whether pineapple belongs on pizza. It does, by the way. It just is. Being in sync with nature means accepting life's seasons. Some days are sunny, some days are a hurricane, but you adapt. Flow with life, don't fight it, and maybe go touch some grass. To be calm is the highest achievement of the self. You know who looks powerful? The person who stays cool while everyone else panics. The guy who gets cut off in traffic and just smiles. The girl who gets ghosted and shrugs like, hey, their loss. Being calm is a flex. It's the ultimate mic drop moment. So next time chaos erupts around you, channel your inner Stoic and remain unbothered. All right, let's be real for a second. How many times have you sat there staring at your phone, telling yourself, tomorrow I'll get my life together? Yeah, we've all been there. But guess what? Tomorrow is just later in disguise, and later's best friend is never. So for the following quotes, we're diving into some Stoic wisdom that's all about action, purpose, and making sure you don't waste your precious time scrolling through cat and dog videos, no matter how cute they are. Serenity is not freedom from the storm, but peace within it. Life is messy. You can't avoid every problem, every bad day, or every annoying coworker who won't stop humming. But Stoicism isn't about avoiding storms. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. So instead of fighting life's chaos, learn to be okay in the middle of it. That's real peace. That's Stoicism. Act with purpose or not at all. Look, if you're gonna do something, do it with intention. Don't be that person who spends an hour in the gym just taking selfies. Either lift those weights or go home and lift some pizza to your mouth. But don't pretend you're grinding if you're really just perfecting your lighting angles. Purpose means knowing why you're doing something. If you don't have a reason, what's the point? It's like making a New Year's resolution to exercise more, but only counting the steps to the fridge. Either commit or don't. The Stoics weren't about half measures, so neither should you be. Life is short. Act now. Let's be honest, we all think we have more time than we actually do. I'll start eating healthy next week. I'll learn Spanish next year. I'll finally fold that laundry when the wrinkles become a national crisis. But the reality, life doesn't pause while you procrastinate. If something matters, do it now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, because spoiler alert, you never will. Imagine if your Wi-Fi worked like your motivation. Sorry, this connection will be strong, eventually. Nah, life's short. Start that project. Tell that person you love them. Book that trip. Because the only guarantee you have is now. The wise man does before he speaks, and then speaks according to his deeds. Translation: stop talking and start doing. We all know that one person who won't stop yapping about their big plans, but somehow, a year later, they're still getting ready to start. Meanwhile, someone else just went out and did the thing. You don't need to tell everyone your goals, just show them through action. Imagine if Batman announced every move before doing it. Now, I shall throw my batarang. No, he just does it. Be like Batman, not like the guy who keeps saying he's about to hit the gym, but mysteriously never does. Don't delay in becoming the person you want to be. Here's a wild idea. Start being the person you want to be today. Not when you have more time, not when things settle down. Right now. Because, spoiler alert, later is a myth we tell ourselves to stay comfy. And guess what? Comfort zones are just prisons with extra pillows. Want to be healthier? Eat one salad today. Just one. Want to be more productive? Stop watching videos about how to be productive and actually start doing something. It's like trying to learn to swim by reading about it. At some point, you just gotta jump in. Fortune favors the prepared mind. You know that person who always gets lucky? Yeah, they're not lucky. They're just prepared. Opportunities don't knock on your door if you're too busy binge-watching Netflix with noise-canceling headphones on. You have to be ready. Think of it like a pop quiz. Life throws tests at you all the time. Some people panic, while others ace it because they've been preparing. Want to be successful? Start learning, practicing, and positioning yourself for opportunities before they come knocking. Because luck isn't magic, it's just preparation meeting opportunity. Rise above petty concerns and focus on what truly matters. Some battles just aren't worth fighting. Do you really need to argue with a stranger on the internet about pineapple on pizza? Nah, let it go. Focus on things that actually improve your life instead of getting sucked into drama that won't matter in a week. Your energy is limited. Spend it on building, growing, and doing things that make you better, not on proving Karen wrong about her opinion on TikTok trends. Live in such a way that you do not fear death. Whoa, that got deep real quick. But hear me out. If you live every day fully with no regrets, you won't be afraid of running out of time. Because you used your time well, it's like leaving a buffet knowing you got your money's worth. No regrets. Did you chase your dreams? Did you tell your loved ones you appreciate them? Did you actually live or just exist? If your answer is, I just kinda scrolled through life, then it's time for a reset. You were born to achieve great things. Act like it. Listen up. You're not here to just take up space and pay bills. You were born to do something meaningful. But the catch? You actually have to get up and do it. No one's handing you a success starter pack. You got to build it yourself. Want to be great? Then show up, work hard, and stop making excuses. Michael Jordan didn't become a legend by thinking about practicing. He got on the court. So should you. Your life is a reflection of your habits. Think about it. Your life is literally just the sum of the things you do every day. If you spend every night binge-watching TV and eating chips, don't be surprised when your life looks like a season of My Couch and Me. But if you consistently work on yourself, your goals, and your health, boom, your life levels up. Want to be successful? Build good habits. Because success isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. Today is the only day you are guaranteed. Make it count. Today is all you have, not tomorrow, not next year, not someday when things settle down. Right now, this moment. And yet, we treat today like it's just a warm-up for the real action, like life will really start once we get that promotion, meet the right person, or finally have six-pack abs, which, let's be honest, may never happen. So whatever you're putting off, stop. Get up. Do it. Want to start that business? Take the first step. Need to have that tough conversation. Pick up the phone. Dreaming of running a marathon. Lace up your shoes and jog around the block. Just start. Because waiting for the perfect time is just another way of saying never. Make today the day you look back on and say, yeah, that's when everything changed. Not because some magical, life-changing event happened, but because you made a choice. A choice to stop procrastinating. A choice to stop doubting yourself. A choice to stop scrolling and actually live. Because, truth is, one day will be your last day, and you won't get a warning. So why not make this one count? And finally, my fellow wisdom seekers, here are the final 10 life-changing Stoic quotes that will make you rethink how you live, laugh, and maybe even survive awkward social situations. So, refill your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you running, and let's get into it. The wise man is his own best friend. You know that one friend who's always got your back? The one who hypes you up before a big moment, reminds you to stay strong, and occasionally stops you from sending that late-night text you'll regret? Well, imagine if that friend was you. Being your own best friend means treating yourself with respect, making good decisions, and, most importantly, not being your own worst enemy. Too often we talk to ourselves like a bad boss, criticizing, doubting, and overanalyzing everything. But would you talk to a friend like that? Nope. So be wise. Be your own hype man. Character is fate. Ever met someone whose life is a mess and they blame everything except themselves? It's bad luck. The universe hates me. Mercury is in retrograde. Nah, buddy, it's your choices. Your character, the way you think, act, and respond to life, pretty much writes your future. If you're honest, hardworking, and kind, you'll probably end up in a solid place. If you're lazy, dishonest, and treat people like NPCs, well, good luck. Fate isn't some mysterious force. It's just you steering the ship. Try not to crash it. Virtue is the only true good. We chase money, status, and the perfect Instagram aesthetic, But at the end of the day, are those the things that really matter? Nope. A Stoic would tell you that the only thing that truly makes life good is virtue, things like honesty, courage, and self-discipline. Think about it. Would you rather be a billionaire who cheats and lies to get ahead, or someone who sleeps well at night knowing they lived with integrity? Okay, the billionaire thing is tempting, but still. Virtue is like the ultimate life hack. It doesn't expire, it doesn't get outdated, and best of all, you don't have to subscribe to it monthly. What you think, you become. If you constantly think, I'm unlucky, I'll never succeed, and my Wi-Fi is always slow, guess what? Your life will reflect that. Your brain is like a GPS. If you type in destination miserable, that's where you'll end up. But if you start thinking positively, I can handle this, I'll find a way, and my Wi-Fi will be strong today, you're rewiring yourself for success. You don't have to be unrealistically optimistic. I will win the lottery today. Probably not. But training your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, that's Stoic level genius. Live a life worth remembering. Do you want to be remembered as the person who binge-watched every Netflix series but did nothing meaningful? Or do you want to be the one who lived with purpose, took risks, and made a difference? You don't have to be famous or invent the next big thing. Just be the kind of person who leaves an impact, whether that's by inspiring others, spreading kindness, or simply living a life that makes people say, wow, they really made the most of their time. Don't just exist, live. Make each day your masterpiece. A masterpiece? Sounds like a lot of pressure, right? But it doesn't mean every day has to be mind-blowing. It just means you should treat today like it matters, because it does. Think about it. A painter doesn't slap some colors on a canvas and call it a day. They put effort, care, and thought into every brushstroke. Your day is the same. Do something today that makes it count, whether it's nailing a project, helping someone out, or just making yourself proud. Regret nothing. Learn from everything. We've all made dumb mistakes, bad haircuts, terrible dating choices, cringe-worthy texts. But the key is to learn from them, not let them haunt you forever. Regret is like paying rent on a house you don't even live in anymore. Why waste your energy? Instead, take every misstep as a lesson, laugh at your past self, and move forward. Even that time you trusted a 2-week delivery from an unknown website. Lesson learned. Face life boldly. You ever see those people who hesitate over everything? Should I take this opportunity? Should I text first? Should I try sushi? Meanwhile, life is happening, and they're still stuck deciding. Life rewards boldness, not recklessness like don't go swimming with sharks just because, but courage. Say what you mean. Go after what you want. Stop waiting for the perfect time because, spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Live simply so that others may simply live. Look, we all love a little luxury, but do we need a new phone every year? Does anyone really need 10 pairs of identical black shirts? Simplicity isn't about giving up everything. It's about focusing on what actually matters. And when you live simply, less clutter, less waste, less unnecessary spending, you create space for things that bring real happiness. Plus, you help others by not hoarding all the world's resources. So, simplify. You'll breathe easier. Die with no excuses. Live with no regrets. Imagine you're 90 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, reflecting on your life. Do you want to think, man, I wish I had taken that risk, told them how I felt, or actually started that project? No. You want to think, I went for it, I gave my all, and I lived on my own terms. Excuses are just regrets in the making. If something matters to you, make it happen. Start today. Do the thing. Because at the end of the road, you'll either have stories to tell or reasons why you never tried. And there you have it, 100 powerful quotes to live by. Something is not right here. Got it. To epically conclude this journey, I need to channel back to my movie trailer guy voice.
Congratulations! You just absorbed 100 Stoic quotes, which means you're now at least 72% calmer than when you started. Maybe even enlightened. Maybe even a Stoic superhero? Now, don't just sit there in your newfound Zen state. Hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Path, and drop a comment below. Which quote will you use next time your Wi-Fi dies in the middle of a Netflix binge? Be wise. Click it.